looters.
And welcome back to CUTV's live coverage of Election 08. We have some states to declare for Senators Barack Obama and John McCain. Senator Obama has claimed victory in the states of Maine, Massachusetts, Connecticut, New Jersey, Maryland, the District of Columbia, Illinois, and New Hampshire. McCain has won South Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, and Oklahoma. As of right now, Senator Barack Obama has 81 electoral votes to McCain's 34 votes. The popular vote is led by McCain, however. And also, Elizabeth Dole, wife of very former famous Senator Robert Dole, is projected to lose her bid in re-election for a senator of North Carolina. And with that, I'm ready to toss it to Cecilio for our faculty debate. Cecilio.
Appreciate it, Kyle. I'm here with my prestigious panel of faculty political analysts, Dr. Huckabee and Dr. Childs. Basically, the way this is going to work out, I'm going to toss a couple questions at you. You have about 2-3 minutes to answer, and we'll go back and forth. Dr. Huckabee, we'll start with you. The first question is, how will McCain and Obama's tax plans affect the average Oklahoman?
Well, the average Oklahoman makes much less than people in the rest of the United States. The median income in Oklahoma is in the lowest of the lowest 5 states in Oklahoma. Which means that the average Oklahoman would benefit more from the Obama tax plan than the McCain tax plan. There's a real question, however, in terms of the implementation of that tax plan. For example, will Obama be able to carry through? Will he have the votes that is necessary for him in the House and the Senate? Will the political realities of the current economy allow him to stick to his plan? He's already slid back a little bit and said, for example, instead of taxes on those above $250,000, it's probably going to have to be on those above $200,000 a year. Again, in Oklahoma, $200,000, $250,000, it doesn't really matter because the median income in Oklahoma is so much lower than it is in most of the United States.
Okay. Dr. Childs, same question.
Well, and it depends on what you believe about tax cuts. If you buy into the Republican perspective that if you cut taxes on the rich and it does trickle down or supply side economics or whatever you want to call it, their belief is then that will mean more money invested into businesses, more things purchased, more jobs, and therefore it would be an indirect way of getting money to the taxpayer. Now, admittedly, the Democrats want to cut taxes on lower income families more than Republicans do. That's just a typical Republican belief. The validity of it, as Dr. Huckabee said, is debatable about how this will actually work. And again, it's a wonderful thing to cut taxes, but if you're going to increase spending a dramatic amount, if you're going to fund programs or if you're going to fund a war, then those two things really don't go well together. And I think it's important to note that both candidates are promising to give money back to the people and yet give them more services and continue to fund the war as long as necessary. Obviously, McCain feels it's going to be necessary for a longer period of time. And so saying something, pledging something, and actually following through, especially for McCain if there's no Republican control of Congress, and there won't be, then that's, there's a reason to be skeptical about what either one of them says on taxes.
Okay, on to our next discussion. This one will start with you, Dr. Childs. Compare and contrast the candidate's potential for the first 100 days in office.
Well, I think we've learned throughout history that you're really only given a few years to get anything done. You can't bet on re-election, and you can't even bet on holding on to control after 2 years, the way Congress shifts in the midterm elections. And so anymore, both candidates are going to want to hit the ground running. McCain is not the ultra-conservative that there are elsewhere. He is a person more likely to work with Democrats. He'll have to work with Democrats if he were to get elected because they will control Congress. And so I think it's important to note that both of them will have their certain goals, things they want to get done. They'll want to put people around them into cabinet positions and those things who can get things done. But they're going to work on trying to fix the economy. Both of them have been very silent or vague on what they want to do. That's fine when you're running for president, but when you're president, you're going to be held accountable. And so both of them are going to try to put somebody together. There'll be some sort of conference to discuss economics, whoever their people are, Warren Buffett, Bob Rubin, those guys that we brought in to talk about those issues. And so they're going to try to essentially do research and development and figure out ways to wisely invest the money in the time they can to handle these situations. As far as foreign affairs, They're going to evaluate the situation. They're going to get news from the ground to see where the United States is in Iraq, and then determine where they need to go from there. But it's going to be a lot of trying to feel it out. Neither one of them have a lot of things that they really want to do as much as they want to find out on the job and figure out what it is that they need to do.
Okay, Dr. Huckabee?
Professor Childs is absolutely right about the fact that in terms of what it is that they're going to do in specifics is going to have to be hammered out in the next couple of months. Who they appoint to their cabinet, who it is that they want to be advising them, what the economic picture turns out to be is going to have a huge effect upon the outcome of those 100 days. But any president, whether it be John McCain or Barack Obama, is going to spend their first 100 days trying to get every possible controversial or on-the-edge policy passed that they can, because that's typically the honeymoon period. Well, so what does that mean, right? I think for John McCain, that means his tax plan. I think for Barack Obama, that means his tax plan. I think that in terms of things like the war in Iraq, I think that means that Barack Obama has to act pretty quickly about the war in Iraq in terms of, and I think that there will be a quick troop withdrawal. It won't be a large troop withdrawal, will not be all of the troops, but it will be enough so that people say, yes, he took troops out of Iraq. You're also going to see some pressure. It depends a lot on the Senate. Right now, it looks like there are going to be probably 56 to 58 votes for the Democrats in the Senate. It could be a little bit more, probably not, okay? But 56 to 58 votes for the Democrats means that Barack Obama is going to be able to push through, if he's elected, quite a few more policies than John McCain will. John McCain, on the other hand, if he's confronted with those numbers in terms of Democrats, his honeymoon is going to be pretty rocky.
I've heard that one before. What measures would McCain and Obama implement to obtain America's energy independence? We'll start with you this time, Dr. Huckabee.